I noticed that the Republicans did not mention global warming once in the debate last night. It doesn't exist in their world. They've also moved on from the talking point of, I'm not a scientist. That's yesterday's talking point. Now it's, well, it's not settled science. Just for the record, Doc, it's settled science, right?
Well, you don't have to ask me. You can ask the U.S. National Academy of Sciences. You can ask any of the more than 30 scientific societies in the U.S., the American Physical Society, the American Geophysical Union, the American Meteorological Society. I could go on and on. All are on record.
And they're not here. You're here.
That's right. And what they...
So I'm asking you. It is super, super settled science, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Okay.
The National Academy of Sciences was founded, people forget this, by a Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, and they've said, look, climate change is real, it's caused by human activity, it's already a problem, it's going to be a much worse problem if we don't do something. There's still time to do something about it.
But, you know, there was a Pew poll recently which revealed that they asked people, they named 23 different topics that they could say are the most important thing we should do, address. Climate change came in 22nd. 23rd was getting cat hair off black pants. You know, Obama's trying to do something, but the president in a democracy can't be that much better than the people. They kind of have to be with them. I don't know, we're 10 years past an inconvenient truth when we thought that might make a difference. What do we have to do to get people to care?
Well, I mean, things are happening. Again, there are reasons to be cautiously optimistic when you look, for example, at this historic agreement last year. The two largest emitters of carbon on the face of the Earth, the U.S. and China, have made...
Well, they're leaders, but not the people. You know, I think I worry that the people think that someone's going to invent a super carbon-sucking machine. That's probably unlikely, right?
Isn't that sold by Dyson, actually?
I would... It would be awesome. Anybody... That's just, please tell them, because I think that's one of the problems. I was giving the commencement address at Berkeley, if I may just tell a quick story.
My alma mater? My alma mater.
Is that your alma mater? Oh, what a coincidence. Okay. And I went after the student who gave, the student address, and it was a lovely address, but at one point she said, I'm 99% sure that someone sitting here in the audience today is going to solve, and then she said, starvation and cancer, and didn't even mention global warming, by the way, which was not a good sign. But this idea that I wouldn't say I'm 99% sure someone in the audience is not going to solve those things, because people have to think they're going to do it themselves, not somebody who's sitting out in the audience.
Well, it depends on the polls that you look at. There are polls that, present, again, a somewhat more optimistic picture, upwards of 70% of the American people. And, it depends on how you frame the question, okay? If you ask people, do they support an effort to decrease our carbon emissions, to move away from coal, embrace renewable energy, you get overwhelming support for that. 70, 80% of the American people say, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Let's do that. So it really depends on how you frame the question.
And what Obama did this week, I mean, the Republicans call it a war on coal. What if we actually called it a war on coal? You might get McCain, and what's wrong with the war on coal? We should have a war on coal. It's completely outdated.
Well, it's a way to try to, marginalize that position, right? When in fact, the bottom line is we do have to move away from coal. Coal is the dirtiest, it's the most carbon-intensive source of power.
It's stupid. And solar, I think there's twice as many jobs in solar now as coal.
We've got a pretty good source of energy up there.
Yes,
from
the sun, right.
And we need to be tapping that, and we need to be tapping wind. If you look at Germany, Germany right now is getting 30% of their power from renewables alone. So you can do it. It can be done.
Right.
The rest of the world has to get on board.
But you have to be German. Thanks, Doc. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you enlightening us. All right, Dr. Michael Mann.